Hello everyone and welcome to Pitch It To Me Baby, the show where we, the Talk Slot Boys, use our mad improv skills to create brand new characters for the Talk Slot Boys cinematic universe. I am your host, my name is Tyler, and I am joined once again by the lovely boys. I've got Chipper.
Heyo!
I got Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And I have the intrepid, bearded, glasses-clad Kyle Steinley.
Wow, dude, like the last couple have been really like insulting, but this one felt good. I like this
I don't
one.
know. Was Wonder Bread really insulting? I thought that one was more endearing.
It was when like you said something like lackluster the last time. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Something like that. It was kind of bad.
Yeah, it was, but it's okay.
I meant
You said it was
so
like
it's
all
fine.
right.
Anyway,
We're good now.
boys, we're gonna be doing some sweet improv character creation today, as per usual. I'm very pumped. We haven't recorded one of these in a bit, so I'm super ready to flex those creative muscles.
I got the juices flowing. They're all moist, coming out of my brain.
Dude,
Wow.
Hot.
Chipper's juices are my favorite thing to drink.
Oh.
We're gonna hop right in here. If y'all don't know how Pitch It To Me Baby works, basically all we're gonna do is we're going to create a brand new character using nothing but our little old brains, and we're gonna come up with everything on the spot. And to help us along, we're going to have 3 prompt words: 1 adjective, 1 noun, and 1 verb. So let's hit the random word generator. Clancy, spin that wheel.
Nice.
That's what the wheel. That's what the wheel sounds like.
Sound effect.
Hey, what's
Like a Wheel of
our
Fortune over here.
noun? It's possession. That's not a noun. What? Hold on. I'm gonna refresh the page. I think it broke.
It's like not a noun.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's breaking. Okay, I want
It's
a
being
noun.
possessed. It's trying to tell you something.
Oh, okay. Our noun is tumor. That's better.
Oh shit.
Okay. Well,
Oh, that's a start.
All right. What is our verb? Multiply. Okay.
Oh shit. This
This
sounds
is
horrible.
getting really
It's about to be
bad.
dark.
And our adjective is bent.
I'm sorry.
I have no fucking clue how we're gonna make a character who's just multiple bent tumors, but we're gonna have to figure it out. Okay, so we have tumor, multiply, and bent.
Okay.
ooh, wow.
So that's
Okay.
a doozy right there.
All right, here you go. Ready for this? It's a gymnast. Okay. It's a gymnast that is super flexible. One day, stricken with having a brain tumor. All right, cancer, and then somehow in the radiation that they're like getting for the treatment, they are able to. This is terrible, to inflict tumors on other people.
Oh. Yes.
So
Be
bad.
multiplying.
Wait, is this guy a hero? I feel like that's like the most
Sounds like a
villainous
villain.
power.
Sounds like a
I don't
villain
know.
for sure.
Give villains cancer, and that's cool, you know.
I don't know if we should say specifically cancer. That might not be the best.
Well, yeah. I mean, what if the tumor's benign?
Oh yeah, you know. Oh, what about no? It's
Like
like
real
it's
shit.
like a like a tumor that like is like a physical growth that you can see on them, but it's not like it's just really annoying. Like it's not.
It's not like
it's
life
benign.
threatening. It's just
Yeah. Maybe they can choose.
Or
Maybe
yeah, what
the
if?
amount of tumors he puts on them that gets worse as he multiplies those tumors.
maybe the tumors get bigger and more multiple the deeper he bends.
Oh yeah.
So if he just hits like the meanest, deepest dab in the world, you just get like 17 like basketball-sized tumors on your back, and then you just die.
God. Oh no.
Or like he jumps from the top of a skyscraper and does all those gymnastic things and starts like bending like crazy, and like the person he's inflicting this on just gets covered in tears. Just like wah! And they can't move.
Oh no. This is I don't know about this one, guys.
character.
This character
Yeah,
is horrible.
he has to be a villain. There's no
Oh,
way.
absolutely.
definitely a
But I like the
Absolutely.
idea of him being just this hero who thinks he's like helping out by doing like vigilante justice by just giving people like just stage 2 cancer.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think the whole giving them cancer thing should probably
No, it
stick. I
shouldn't.
take it back immediately.
It's pretty fucked
I,
up.
Because as I was saying earlier, I was like, wow, this is terrible. I can't. This is weird. We're not running with this. This is not. So, yeah. But we ran with penis blade, but we're not going to run with giving people cancer.
Yeah, that's where we draw the line.
Villain,
If you want cocks that spew magma, you know, we got it. Cancer?
That is the line.
No, that's the line right there.
Yeah.
But like, how useful would his power even be?
I mean,
Pretty
imagine being
useful.
covered in all tumors. Like, you couldn't walk.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like that's like let's say
Imagine Superman just covered in tumors.
Imagine
You would
that
have
for
to
me?
flex every
Could you
time.
just take a second?
Yeah, he wouldn't be
I
able
mean,
to
yeah,
like
they're like-
bend his arms because like
yeah, but if they're like massive ones, but like if it's like an actual tumor, like how they usually are, I don't know, it's gonna like pressed upon his colon or something.
Let's say they're a little bit. They're probably larger than normal tumors because this is a superpower.
they are comically large tumors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Hunchback of Notre Dame huge.
Yes.
Like his,
Yeah.
Yeah, he
But all of your body.
He like does a split and you turn into fucking what's his face? I can't
Quasimodo?
think of his name.
Quasimodo?
Quasimodo. Yeah,
Yeah,
that joke would have
Kyle
been
said
better
it.
if I had the follow through.
Yeah, it's okay.
You just get
We got there.
you just get hunched over and
Right.
you can't fight crime anymore.
Yeah. You just get like deformed and then you can't do anything.
And then some
Yeah, do you
priest
think,
tries
like-
to kill you.
Man of Steel Superman could not have fought General Zod if he would have just like had tumors all over his body. Like those moves wouldn't have happened, you know?
I just for some reason I just keep thinking of like, you know, he gives someone a tumor, you know, and then like they don't know about it right away, but then like their next like doctor checkup, like the doctor's like, "Hey man, like you got something we need to talk about here."
It would be so sad.
Like you just
Like-
witness like this fucking battle between the two, and like the villain just like knocks the dude out. He's like, "Man, that guy didn't even put up a fight. What a fucking loser!" And then it just like cuts to him like a week later. The doctor, "Well, it seems like you have a benign tumor on your colon, sir. You know, you're gonna need to have invasive surgery for this." What?
Yeah, yeah, it's
And
like
you
the
just
movie.
see like the hero like back in his apartment, just sitting out the window smiling.
He's just doing sit-ups and the tumors keep multiplying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the first 10 minutes of Up, but like way more sinister. Like all of a sudden he's like in like a hospital bed, like dying, and like
Is that
like,
how
the
he,
hero's
like-
just like smiling somewhere?
Is that how he found out about how his wife, like how he had his power? He like accidentally killed his wife of 60 years by giving her giant tumors.
Wait,
Yeah.
so is this an old dude now?
I don't know.
Is
Yeah,
that the plot of Up?
the tumor boomer?
Oh my gosh.
I think we broke Kyle.
So stupid. Holy shit.
Okay, so let's go. So he has the power anytime he bends, right, or like does
Yes.
some kind of gymnastic thing. He gives people tumors, correct? Right?
Yes.
This is what's happening.
Yes,
I mean,
but not
this
like.
would have to be as people of like his choice.
But he has
Okay.
he has to bend at people. Like he can't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If he like generally bends, it doesn't like give the world
Yeah, yeah,
tumors.
yeah.
You know, he has to be like when you're playing pool. You have to like call the pocket for the 8-ball. He has to do the same thing with his like tumor bends. He has to like look someone in the eye and be like, "You,
And then he does
this
the jackknife.
this elbow to this knee," and he goes, "Wah!" And then like their neck is just a tumor.
He just starts saying head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and tumors.
He just does like a fucking Simone Biles like floor routine, and then boom, they have like fucking Balthazar from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Wait, so is he hero or villain?
Villain. I think
Villain?
it has to be a villain.
Okay, then I
Oh, he
want
has to
him
be.
to wear some kind of mask that alters his voice. So he's like, head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
I'm fine with that.
Is that going to be canon that he has to sing Head, Shoulders, Knees, and
No, but that
Or-
he
or
sings
he
audibly.
he sings the
He has to
Macarena.
audibly say like the body
Yeah.
parts that he's bending and the moves he's doing, in like anime protagonist fashion, where he just says the name of all his moves, but the moves are just like his body parts and his bends.
Yes, yes, yes. I like this. And
Do we want to like go with the route of like him being like a gymnast?
yeah, absolutely.
Can he
Like,
also
that
still
legs.
be like a 90-year-old man?
Oh yeah,
oh,
yeah. It was a gymnast who like was gonna go to like the Olympics and then got
always
like
is.
a disease, like a tumor, and then like so they like he just couldn't compete. Like it just wasn't gonna happen. So like he like waited his whole life scheming and like developing this power because he got it through the radiation or whatever. And unfortunately, it took him until he was like 90, and now he's really old, and he's like, I must bend, and then he just fucking bends to do shit.
Oh man.
Okay. I like that. And he wears a loose leotard and like those warmers that you wear on your wrists and your ankles.
Wrist and ankle warmers?
Yeah, sure. I didn't know if they had specific names, like a head warmer or whatever.
Yeah, and he's got like the headband on, like the really cheesy, like fuzzy headband.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in his leotard, it looks like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
God damn.
He's basically just like an old Richard Simmons who let himself go.
Oh, yeah.
That is the
majorly.
exact way I was imagining it. That's perfect. Can we go with Tumor Boomer? Because I think that's a really good one.
Tumor Boomer. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to top that.
No, I think that's the best one.
I agree with that, yeah.
Wow.
All right, so what is his exact backstory, Kyle? Did you have that in mind?
No, I just kind of like had like an idea for it. I figured I'd toss it out there to see if we wanted to like run with anything about
Or
it.
how about this? Okay, well he's the flashback to when he's like a younger guy, like training for the Olympics. Okay.
Yes.
All of a sudden, like he knows something's wrong, like in preparation for the Olympics. So he goes to the doctors. The doctor's like, all right, son, we need to sit you down. They have the talk. Like, hey, like you have this, this tumor. It's not benign. It's cancerous. We need to get rid of it. You need radiation. Blah 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 blah. So he like goes through the treatment and he beats it. Like he beats it. He's the man. But he's still like they're like you can't like competing. Like that's out of the question. So a little bit of time passes, and then boom! All of a sudden, his wife has like tons and tons and tons of tumors. Like internally, obviously. And they're like, look, like, this isn't normal for someone to be having all of this. Like, obviously, some sort of, like, external force must have had this, like, upon you. And then, like, more and more people that, like, he knows and loves, like, they start getting tumors.
Holy shit.
And then, like, that's when he realizes, like, oh, shit, like, I'm the reason that, like, all of these people are, like, fucked up. And so, like, this, like, turns him, like, kind of to the dark side, because then he's like, holy, like, everyone I know is, like, getting all fucked up by this. And, like, he just slowly strays into, like, being evil and, decides to use his powers for evil now that he's, like, a broken man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, he hermits himself away, like, takes himself out of society to keep himself away from people. And he's, like, being away from them, like, kind of, like, twists his mind to realize he's like a monster, and then he fucking like is really old by the time he can like master this like controlling it. So he's like 80 or something. I don't know how old we want to say he is, but
yeah,
he's just really old, and then he's like, I am the Tumor Boomer, and he just comes at him.
Because I keep thinking like the reason why his wife is so fucked up is because like he's trying like behind closed doors, like he's trying to do like the gymnastics, but like kind of failing, since he's like the doctor's like, you can't do this anymore. And of course, like, his wife's always there to support him, so she witnesses him doing all of this maneuvers and shit.
See, that's more heartfelt than what I was thinking, because I was just thinking, as gymnasts, they just have, like, crazy acrobatic sex all the time.
I thought that's where Brennan was going.
He's just, like, pumping it into her, and she just, like, swells up like a balloon and pops.
Well, I mean, that could obviously be it, too, but... Or maybe that's why,
probably
like...
part of it.
Maybe that's why, like, the rest of his family gets fucked up.
Because he starts fucking them?
Well, no. Like,
oh, I want some of that hot action. Let me in on it.
That is a wild family.
Oh, Derek, you're so good in the sack. Oh, the way you do those jackknives on my face, sweetie.
No.
I just imagine they have like a trapeze above the bed, and they just do like flips and like land like cock and vagina.
He has like the silk roll shit, like he's like doing the silks, like spinning down.
Oh, God.
There's like a judge's table at like on their headboard, and then like
just 10. It was like 6, not great form.
Oh, that's hilarious.
nailed that landing though.
Now, what
the
exactly
dismount.
gives him the cancer? Because I think it should be some kind of different kind of radiation. Maybe they tested a new kind of treatment on him that they haven't tested before.
Okay, here's what could happen. So like, as every good superhero or supervillain origin happens. He was bit by a radioactive animal. But the thing is, because we don't want this to be super generic, right? So like the scientists who were big fans of Spider-Man comics, because Spider-Man is not real, because this is the Talkslot Boy cinematic universe, and Marvel is fake like it is in the real world. So they're like, oh, we're science, and we did science school for a long time so we could get the government funding to just shoot spiders full of radiation to make a Spider-Man. And they try it, and it ends up killing someone. And they're like, okay, well, then this isn't going to work out at all. So then the spider starts getting, like, tumors also. And they're like, we feel bad for this spider. We have to learn how to heal the spider. So to heal the spider, they pump up a badger full of another type of radiation. The badger bites the spider, removing the tumors, but inadvertently sucking the radioactive tumors out of the spider into the badger. The badger breaks free of the science lab, right? So there's just this radioactive tumor-filled badger with 2 tiers of radiation running the city streets. The badger gets into the sewers, bites a crocodile, because crocodiles live in the sewers. All of it gets passed down to the crocodile. Also, the crocodile eats the badger in the process, because obviously
That's what I thought,
that's a fight it's going to win. So now it has, the decomposed essence of a radioactive badger full of radioactive tumors from a radioactive spider. The crocodile then travels through the sewers, eats a construction worker. That has nothing to do with anything, but it's just, it's in his system, right? So he gets up, he crawls out of the sewage grate into the zoo, because he is a crocodile who escaped the zoo. That's how he got into the sewer. He goes through the zoo, and he meets his zebra lover, don't question this. This is the animal kingdom. I believe in that any species can love another species, and you're racist if you disagree. And the crocodile goes and makes sweet love to his zebra lover. I don't know which one's the boy or girl. It doesn't matter. Either way, the radiation gets passed into the zebra. The crocodile dies in the process, and then the zebra is so grief-stricken that it goes like really loud, but it's a radiating, and then it shatters the enclosure, and it runs away, right? And it runs and runs and runs into Zookeeper Dale, and Zookeeper Dale gets kicked in the face by this radioactive zebra, who sees it as a threat, so he starts wrestling the zebra. The zebra vomits on him. He absorbs all of the radiation and tumors and stuff. That guy goes to the doctor to get checked out because he got thrown up on by a zebra. The doctor is corrupt. He kills Zookeeper Dave. And
Dale.
Also, Dale absorbs radiation and then goes and bangs Dale's wife. Now, Dale's wife is best friends with our main character's wife, and then somehow that gets passed on to our guy.
So we're not gonna have our
wait,
tumor
wait.
boomer. He's not going to give the tumors to his old lady. His old lady's going to give him the tumors.
Well, no. See, I fucked that up. I realized that I was fucking it up. So scratch that. So the lady.
No.
How about the lady
is a professional.
sister or something?
The lady is another gymnast. She's a professional high fiver. And as we know, Tumor Boomer, whose secret identity is Jeff Schloft, he is really into competitive high five games. So he goes to a competitive high five game to support his friend who's in the scene. And then at the end of the game, she comes up, obviously, and you see this happening, right, in the high five competition. The radiation's getting passed back and forth between the two high fivers. But the opponent dies. So she takes the tumors back. It's just kind of like a side plot. And then she high fives him, and then he gets it.
Okay, is she not concerned about these tumors?
She doesn't know she has them.
She just has the radiation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's been getting passed along so much that it hasn't
is she
grown.
oozing green or what?
I don't know. It was kind of a flawed backstory, but I think there's something there that we can salvage from that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something we can work out. Yeah.
I think that a lot of that was great. I love it. I love the animal, the journey through the animal kingdom. No, I don't even think we should scratch it. I like it. But when it gets to the other gymnast, the gym is going to throw a party for Jeff's birthday, and so she makes cupcakes. But while she's making those cupcakes, she fucking sneezes all over them, and then it's transferred. And then he's the only one who eats the cupcakes. I'm not realizing that if she brought it to a party, a lot of people probably eat the cupcakes. But
Also, it's a party for
what if she like
gymnasts. Would they
sneezed
eat
on the
cupcakes?
cake?
that's a good point.
Like, what if she sneezed like on
Yeah.
they brought like an oversized cupcake like just for him.
No, okay,
You know what I mean?
no,
Like how like they'll do
Wait,
like
wait,
office
wait,
parties
wait, wait,
sometimes,
wait,
and she
wait.
sneezes
I
on
think I
that.
have the
boom.
answer.
I have a much better
Okay.
idea. We're gonna drop this
Okay.
whole gymnast friend thing altogether. So when the zoo guy gets away from fighting the zebra, his body starts to become covered with the radioactive tumors, and he is scared. So he runs out of the zoo onto the street and gets hit by a car. And whose car is it? Jeff Schloft.
Jeff Shaw.
Okay.
Actually, motorcycle, because his body needs to get
I
covered.
was gonna say he should be
Yeah,
completely fine.
I mean, he's gonna have to get like a mouthful of this dude's like disease.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Jeff Schloft is like a really like badass dude. He doesn't think he needs a helmet.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
just like all over into
Or-
his face and mouth and all of his
Okay.
orifices.
Actually, no, he's not on a motorcycle. He's just running so fast because he's a gymnast.
I was gonna say
That he just
I'm gonna say-
eviscerates this dude when he like makes contact with him. The dude just explodes and then he gets covered in all the tumor juice.
Okay, so he's Jeff Schlub, also known as
Schloft.
I'm sorry,
Also,
Sloft.
his boomer tumor
Yeah.
or tumor boomer.
Has the power of extreme speed as well as the
No, he has
tumor
gymnast level
multiplication.
speed. Everyone knows gymnasts can run 17 miles an hour faster than a normal
17?
person. Miles faster than the average person.
That's it.
So
How was
Usain Bolt hits like 25.
If you can run 17 miles an hour and hit me, I'd be like, "Ow, dude, that hurt." I don't
But
think
he
it
has a
would
lot
blow
of
up.
girth behind it. He has the the fucking motivation of a gymnast, which adds force to his speed.
I can't believe that the most unbelievable part of that entire setup was that this guy is running so fast.
Well, because the rest of it's it's a superhero story or supervillain story.
No, it's not.
It's radiation, and you know that sounds wacky and crazy, but a man running 17 miles an hour and making someone explode.
Well, it's because he's
I
covered in
listened
big
to a
old fucking
nature
tumors.
documentary.
Wait,
And that guy is
I thought
also running
when did he get the
25 miles an
tumors?
hour. So when they collide, it's like a combined force.
So Tyler.
Fine.
Don't try to bring logic into this. This is a story about a man who bends tumors at people, okay?
In this world, running into a man at 17 miles an hour makes you explode.
If you believe hard enough. If
Or
you don't
what
see
if-
it coming.
What if, like the zebra vomit, okay, like is also, I mean, obviously it's gonna be like really highly acidic. So like, what if like, you know, like the dude, like the zookeeper that gets vomited on, like it starts to like kind of like decompose him already, but like he's still like, you know, sentient enough to like run out into the street, hence getting like ran into. So like maybe it's not so much of a fact as the guy's running so fast and makes him explode. Maybe he was just barely held together to where when he ran into him, he was like ready to explode.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
I
he had like the
that.
structural integrity of a pot of chili when he got hit.
Yeah. And then it just bursts all over him and it's just fucking projectile vomit everywhere and guts and stuff.
That's a much better idea.
Okay, and then so how come Mr. Jeff is the only one to not go crazy from getting this radiation?
Because he has the will of a gymnast.
Oh, this is so.
Which is much stronger than mine.
Okay,
at
why
least,
not?
you know.
I mean, do you have a better origin story?
No, I was trying to build off of Brendan's origin story. That made sense.
Yeah,
I like
you know,
this one.
We do have this chain of the animal kingdom into like crocodile zebra sex, into a zebra vomiting on a guy that is as frail as a pot of chili and then gets hit by a runner. Or we could have the story where it's really sad and dramatic and would equal being a villain.
Well, hold up.
Well, they're mixed together.
You can still
How
have
are they
both of
mixed
them.
together?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can still have both of them,
Because all
though.
the sad shit happened after he got the radiation. I was just explaining how the radiation
Okay.
got into his
Yeah.
body.
Okay.
Yeah, so then after that is whenever he goes and gets diagnosed, obviously, and the doctors are like, okay, well, we need to,
Okay.
like, you know, come up with some sort of like treatment for you, blah 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 blah. You know, him having crazy fucking gymnast sex with his wife causes her to have like, you know, just
Okay.
an well overabundance of tumors. And then like everything else just kind of like deteriorates from there.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I think
No, it
I
all
do.
works now.
I honestly like that. I also think that if this were to become a movie, it would be the first movie to ever blend genres: a nature documentary and like a hero film.
Oh, well, they wouldn't
'Cause I
actually
feel like-
get to the hero part until the second film. The entire first
Yeah,
film would just
yeah.
be the
No.
passing of the powers. It'd be a documentary, much like March of the Penguins.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you'd
it'd be
have
like
Benedict
Nat Geo.
Cumberbatch fucking explaining it all.
Well, it would depend on which company buys it from us, because then it would be like if it was Fox, it would be like we would only get the cameo of like we'd see the zebra and the crocodile somewhere in the background, and then the man who's decomposing would appear, and like we'd only get a small amount. Like, people that read the comic would be like, oh, I remember the zebra and the crocodile fucking in the sewer, but
Yeah.
they didn't show that part because that was too much.
That's why I'm waiting
this
for
a
the
dig on
Zack Snyder
Fox?
cut.
That is a dig on Fox, absolutely.
What does his suit look like? Where does he live? What are his motives for, like, you know, wanting to be evil? Who does he target? Like,
I mean,
what's his
I feel
game?
like I know like, we kind of talked about his outfit a little bit. We talked about how like it's probably like one of his old leotards, but it's kind of baggy, and he's got like the fucking like sweatbands and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And the voice modulator or whatever on him.
Yeah. Yeah, what kind of mask would the tumor boomer wear? I guess if you wanted him to have a mask. I mean,
A lumpy one with a smile.
Okay.
Could it be like the one like the fucking the nose, the mustache, and like
It sure
The
can.
Nigel Thornberry nose.
I think it should be, like, a Richard Nixon mask that he bought at, like, a fucking Halloween shop because it reminds him of the good old days.
The good old
He's a boomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
okay.
We don't have to go with that. That was just...
He's a crazy homeless person now. That's what he is. Just trying to give people tumors. But Brendan, I remember Brendan. You mentioned a motive. What was the motive again? Like why he wants to give people tumors now?
Well, I was just thinking, like, the fact that, you know, he's, like, always around, like, his family and stuff, like, that his family would, you know, eventually succumb to, like, the tumorness. And, you know, that would, like, drive him off the deep end, and he would just become, like, just this, like, nasty, bitter old man that does, like, cartwheels and shit.
Okay, so he's kind of insane, and he just wants to ruin other people's lives now because he's lost just basically his old memories and just his insanity.
Yeah, like I figured he would like lose like everyone that he loves and knows, like due to his like complication, and this would just, you know, over like years and years of like, you know, family members passing away, it would just cause him to like fall off the deep end and like, okay, I have this massive amount of pain that I've dealt with. I think everyone else should feel it too.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine
and then,
him
of course,
just kind of
Ally.
cartwheeling through the streets, and then just everyone that's like passing by just gets covered in tumors as they just see this like screaming, cartwheeling old man in spandex going down the street.
See, I was also thinking like the crazier of like the gymnastic move he does, like the less benign the tumor is.
Well, that's why he starts at the top of a skyscraper, looks down upon
Yeah.
the people of the city, and goes, "It's my time," and he just jackknife. And people just like look up. Is that man screaming jackknife?
And they're like, "Oh God!" And like,
Oh, my stomach!
Like all of a sudden, people just collapse in the street with fucking stage 5.
Yeah.
Do we? Okay, wait. Do we have like a villain or another villain that we have that can fly at this point?
I think the one dude, the juicer guy, had a jetpack. I think.
Okay. So, all right, hear me out, right? So, Tumor Boomer is like for my final act, I will be diving off of this skyscraper and giving everyone tumors to rid this world of people, I guess. I don't know. Fucking
All the
something
people
dark.
in the general vicinity, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, this is my last act because I'm going to die when I hit the ground. And as he's screaming jackknife and flying off this building, killing people, whatever, I don't remember his name, jetpack guy comes up and fucking grabs him. He's like, I have a purpose for you. And then they like work together and like he gets redeemed to turn into a villain.
Okay.
Or I guess like he's already
I'm not
a villain, but,
opposed
like,
to
he
that.
I like.
Yeah, I think that was what was his name? Oh, Jedediah Jamba. I think that was the guy who had the jetpack.
yeah!
Because it was a jetpack that was like smoothie powered or some shit.
Yes.
Yeah, so he takes him to like Jamba Juice Corp, and like employs him.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
good
like this.
tie-in.
Yeah.
Because that ties him into everybody else. And then he can like fight everyone else. I don't know exactly who his like arch nemesis would really be.
And then whenever like like Jamba Juice or whatever the fuck his name is, like I don't know, I wasn't on the episode. But whenever he needs to like fight like a large crowd of like heroes, he just like grabs like Tumor Boomer, like takes him to like a really high altitude and just drops him. And then like he's like jackknifing in midair. All of a sudden like all of their like adversaries are just like collapsing at this point because they got like stage 10, and then like he just like flies back down and catches him before he hits the ground, and he's like, oh, that was successful once again.
When they when they team up to like go after fucking Hydrator Tater or whatever his name was. Do you
Yes, I remember who you're talking about. Unfortunately, I cannot recall his name either.
Precipitator. That's when he's like going after Precipitator, and he's like trying to like buy out like farmland to make another like Jambo Corp, whatever. Like I imagine he's like, oh no, you can't use this land because there's so many cows and we need these cows because it's part of the farm. So he just builds like a cannon to launch Tumor Boomer out of. And he just jackknifes all the way over the field, and all the cows just get filled with tumors and die.
Ooh, okay, yeah. He's a very sinister man. I like
Yeah, he's using him also as like a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know. Well, I guess this is a plot hole. I don't know how Jedediah Jamba would not get tumors himself because he would be close to him to launch him in all these scenarios. But
doesn't he
anti-tumor smoothies that he creates.
Oh
and consumes,
my gosh!
And then he sells them
that.
to the general populace to cure other people of tumors. That's how he makes more cash.
It's a fucking just money scheme. I like it.
I dig. Yeah, I was gonna suggest maybe he always wears like one of those. Like, it's like a suit made out of, like, the lead thing they put on your nutsack when you get a fucking x-ray. He just has, like, a suit of that, so he's, like, radiation-proof.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But
It could be a combination of the two. He could, like, double up on it.
Yeah, just to make sure, because he's really careful. He really doesn't want these tumors.
The smoothies are just filled with lead, and he just drinks them.
and then people get, like, lead poisoning and shit.
But they won't get tumors.
It's like you're just picking your poison at that point.
Oh, man. Well, I think we have him pretty well fleshed out.
Honestly, yeah. It took us a while to get there, but we made it.
Yeah,
we went on a trip.
Yeah, I think we did it, though. So, Clancy, if you want to hit us with that super tight recap of all the bullshit we just came up with, that'd be great.
I cannot be commanded by a mortal flesh bag like you.
Don't sass me. Play the clip.
Function confirmed. Commencing recap. In the dark experimental underbelly of an undisclosed city, a bunch of Marvel fan-weeb scientists try to create a radioactive spider capable of turning a human into a real-life Spider-Man. Unfortunately, this backfires and just straight-up kills the dude who is bit and covers the spider with radioactive tumors from the radiation treatment. Feeling bad for the spider, one of the scientists decides to put it out of its misery by feeding it to a badger. Unfortunately, this merely passes the radioactive tumors onto the badger, who in a violent rage of panic and immense pain, flees from the science lab and into the sewers where it is consumed alive by a sewer alligator. And wouldn't you know it, now the alligator has the tumors and radiation. Oh bother. To make things worse, the alligator escapes the sewer to meet up with his zebra lady friend at the zoo for a long and unnatural evening of interspecies love-making. After several hours of smashing, the alligator dies and all of the radiation and tumors are passed into the zebra, who is now grief-stricken over the loss of her beloved reptilian booty call. The zebra breaks free of its enclosure and begins to feel itself being overcome by the tumors. A zookeeper sees the zebra running through the zoo screaming in pain, and while attempting to catch her, the zebra jumps onto the zookeeper and vomits into his mouth. Once again passing on those good old super tumors. The man can barely walk as the tumors envelope his body and reduce the structural integrity of his obese human body to that of a cheaply made half-broken piñata. As he stumbles out of the zoo onto the street, he is hit full force by a gymnast running by. That running gymnast, Jeff Schloft, is covered in the radioactive entrails of this poor liquefied zookeeper and as a result, becomes the final vessel for the tumors. Due to Jeff's gym-hardened body, he is able to contain the radioactive powers and only learns of them after a doctor's visit several weeks later. Through rigorous and difficult treatments, he is able to overcome the disease and become healthy once again. However, he notices that his wife and other supportive friends and family members who would witness his impressive gymnast bends began being covered in an alarming amount of tumors. He realized that this was his curse. He hadn't managed to get rid of the tumors growing within him. Rather, he was actually just bending them out of his body and onto those near him in proximity. Knowing that his dreams of being a gymnast were now too dangerous, he was forced to give up his dream. Unfortunately, by the time he realized this, his wife had already succumbed to the radiation and died. Big old bummer right there. Big oof. This pushed Jeff to the edge, and out of blinding rage and sadness he turned to the dark side and became the infamous tumor boomer. His gymnast-style acts of villainy would inflict anyone to oppose him with the same tumors that had ruined his own life. With a single flying jackknife, he could give his enemies tumors on their backs and effectively turn them into Quasimodo cosplayers in a split second. After years of tumor-related malarkey, Tumor Boomer decided his final act would be to jump off of the highest building in the city, jackknifing and flipping and twisting all the way down, inflicting his pain on the entire city. However, before he hit the ground, corporate supervillain Jeremiah Jambo swooped in and saved him. Jambo saw Tumor Boomer's true potential to be a big-league villain, and brought him into the Jambo Empire of Juice and Villainy, where they would team up in the future to battle the world's strongest heroes. The Talks a Lot Boys cinematic universe welcomes Tumor Boomer, the flexible acrobatic boomer who just straight up ruins people's lives.
Well, Clancy, that was delightful. Thank you for that. This is why we pay you the big bucks. I guess that wraps it up for today's episode of Pitch It To Me, Baby. Ooh, yeah. Please let us know in the comments below something related to this content.
Let us know what you think about Tumor Boomer in the comments, and what you would have come up with if you had those words to come up with a character.
Yeah. Also, also give this video a like if you liked it, because that would be appreciated. And if you're listening to the audio version, please give this a 5-star on Apple Podcasts if you enjoyed it, because that would also be hella tight. If you want to see more content from us, the Talks a Lot Boys, please consider subscribing to our channel. And we have tons more videos for you to enjoy that are literally us just talking about other things. We got the Tippity Top podcast where we talk about our favorite stuff. We got some album reviews, and we have more of this show where we make crazy kooky characters. So until next time, we have been the Talks a Lot Boys, and we will talk a whole lot more next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
See ya.